are back with another episode of JR Takes. As always, Ryan and I coming at you with the latest Seattle sports news. And Ryan, we finally got our man in Seattle.
We got our guy.
And he might be the youngest coach in the NFL, but I think that's what makes me the most intrigued about him. Cutting Pete Carroll's age in half, and that's our coach.
Yeah, it's like a couple people have said he could kind of be the defensive version of Sean McVay, which, I mean, given our division with Shanahan and McVay in there, that's what I wanted. From the moment we hired Pete Carroll, I was hoping we would get Mike Macdonald. I was hoping we could have Mike Macdonald after I watched him destroy us when we played the Ravens in Baltimore this season. So I could not be happier. I mean, to me, it was always between him and Ben Johnson, but when the Ben Johnson news happened yesterday of him choosing to stay as the Lions offensive coordinator, I kind of wasn't even worried because Macdonald was always my guy. So yeah, I can't believe that we made a move that universally is seen as being like the best thing we could do. Like even fans of other teams are like, damn, good for Seattle.
Yeah, agreed. And I want to also make a quick note that, myself included in this tree, the people that are all bummed out about the Harbaugh sweepstakes not going our way, Mike Macdonald was under both of the Harbaugh brothers and went to Michigan in 2021 to be the DC. That was his first DC job. And then, you know what happened then. Michigan went to the college football playoffs. They didn't win, but they had guys like Aiden Hutchinson on that D-line. Mm-hmm. And goes back to the Ravens for the past 2 seasons, and I don't know. I think that is encouraging as much as someone that wanted Harbaugh. We have like the young version, so to speak. I don't know how similar he is to the two of them, but he's he's had to have picked up on something if he, is getting this job. And apparently he blew people away in the interviews, not just us, but multiple teams.
That's
so
what I keep hearing, yeah. And he's a kind of a unique character in that he has this job at 36. I mean, he's only like 7 years older than we are, which is pretty insane. Youngest coach in the league. It is kind of wild we're going from the oldest coach to the youngest coach, half the age. Mm-hmm. But he also he got a degree in sports management.
Yeah, I saw that.
At university, which is kind of unique. And he was going to go into stock trading on Wall Street before he got into coaching.
Yeah, I saw his degree was in finance.
Yeah, so just kind of a unique background for a guy as a head coach, but I think that's exciting. And everyone who is a film nerd that I follow has just been blown away by what the Ravens have been doing all year. I mean, look at a guy like Kyle Van Noy. I mean, did you even know he was still playing before this season? I didn't. I thought he was done.
Noy, I didn't.
Anyways, he had a resurgent season at like 45, and Jadeveon Clowney, who, yeah, he was like the number 1 overall pick or whatever, but he's never really lived up to that status. He was like up there with Myles Garrett this year statistically. So Macdonald, I think the best thing you can say about a head coach is if they find a way to get the best out of their players, and that's absolutely what he did with that Baltimore defense. And even though, we'll get into this more later, even though Baltimore lost against the Chiefs, I mean, Patrick Mahomes played one of the best games I think I've seen him play. The stats don't show it necessarily, but the escapes and just the perfect ball placements he was getting, like, that's not a coordinator's fault if he's scrambling around for 10 seconds and throwing a across his body throw to a 1-foot window to Travis Kelce 30 yards downfield. Like, that's not a coordinator's fault. So, yeah. Couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, and not to mention Mike Macdonald, the history of his coaching career has been Georgia, and then immediately intern for Baltimore. So he's pretty much only been places that are extremely professional and expect the expectation is at an all-time high wherever he's been.
Yeah,
so,
and you think of those locations for his 3 assistant coaching stints: Georgia, Baltimore, and Michigan. What do you think of with all those 3 places? Defense. Mm-hmm. So he's been in excellent programs, and they have been really successful every time he's been a part of the crew there. So definitely a really good track record to see.
I'm also looking forward to see, what we do with Geno come a couple weeks from now. Because I heard someone throw out some crazy theory the other day, but about the potential of Russ coming back now that Pete Carroll's gone and out of the way. But I would just have a hard time, buying into that with John Schneider still being at the helm. I don't know what their relationship was, but
I think John wanted to trade Russ in like 2018
for the Josh Allen pick.
Yeah, I've heard rumors of that, and I in a way I almost feel like the magical Russ comeback to Seattle story would be more likely if Pete was here, because I never really felt like those guys hated each other or anything like that. It wasn't like, even to the degree of how Sherman was after he left Seattle. I think he would have been open to the opportunity, but I just don't really see that happening. Like, it'd be fun, it'd be a cool story, but we're moving into a new era now, like, especially that Pete's gone. And I even look at a guy like Bobby Wagner, and it's going to be totally up to Mike Macdonald and, John, obviously, on whether or not to keep a guy like Bobby around.
Right.
So it's hard to say, because there's a totally different mindset coming in for all of these decisions we're going to make. And that kind of segues into, before we even make any roster moves here, we still have a whole coaching staff to fill out. So now the most important hire we have to make is the offensive coordinator. And my number one pick is actually a guy we've already been interviewing, and that's Mike Kafka. I didn't realize this until I looked into him a little more. He was Patrick Mahomes' QB coach.
Are we talking about Lex Luthor?
Is that what he looks like?
The bald guy? And
He
OC for the Giants?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I guess we are talking about Lex Luthor. Yeah, I don't know why that's a hard name for me to say.
You can pull up a photo of him if you want to show the audience.
It might be important for the audience to see that.
What's
Yeah.
his name?
Lex Luthor. No, it's Mike Kafka. That's with a K.
Oh my God.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know he looked. Okay, maybe he's not my number one guy then. Actually, he's kind of scary looking.
All right. Yep.
No, but I mean, he's done, like, obviously the 2023 Giants were awful, and that's why I was initially grossed out by seeing us even interview this guy. But I mean, they had Daniel Jones looking competent in 2022 with very poor supporting cast around him, and I think Daniel Jones is terrible.
Agreed.
So I think he's got the chops for the job, but he currently has an OC job, so I think they'd have to do something like have his title be assistant coach / offensive coordinator or something like that to bring him in. Because beyond that, Slowick is going back to the Texans. Obviously we're not getting Johnson from the Lions, so I feel like there's not a ton of options for offensive coordinator. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess I haven't really thought about who to bring in as the OC. I did hear about when Sean McVay was hired. I kind of forgot he did this because it was, so long ago. But he immediately brought in Wade Phillips to be his DC because he's an offensive mind. And he wants someone older to come in and just handle that. And I would like to see maybe Mike Macdonald do that. Maybe kind of mirror that and bring in an older offensive mind to run the offense. I don't know. I don't have any guys in name or in mind right now, but
What do you think about Chip Kelly?
Do
you think that's a little unhinged?
It's a little scary to me. I'm not ready for that.
I think it'd be scary, but I don't know. There's something about it would be kind of enticing to me, just because it would be fun, and we'd be such a unique team running Mike Macdonald's defensive schemes and Chip Kelly's weird ass fucking offense.
Yeah, I feel like it would be like giving like a 16-year-old like car keys to a sports car and being like, "All right, drive me across the city and don't crash."
That's a little frightening.
But
it would be
I don't know.
fun.
I'm just scarred by the Chip Kelly college offense that was the Eagles 10 years ago, and it was terrible. So
Yeah, that crashed and burned pretty hard.
But
I
don't
mean,
know.
hey, Nick Foles had a pretty crazy season with him, so you never know. But I don't know. There's just, for me, there's not that many names out there that I'm like super familiar with. So those are kind of the two guys I've had my eye on. So yeah, I don't really have any more thoughts about the Macdonald hire other than I'm fucking stoked and kind of can't believe it. But you have anything more you want to say?
Not too much on Mike Macdonald. I am excited to see who obviously he brings in over the next couple weeks. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with the team and who he brings in.
And his first press conference, because I don't even really know what his voice sounds like.
Yeah.
We got a whole guide to get to know here. So
Yeah, do you know when that's happening?
it could be today or tomorrow for all I know.
Yeah.
But probably tomorrow is my guess.
Well, with that out of the way, I guess we'll get to the teams that are still playing and were just eliminated. The AFC Championship and the NFC Championship.
It was exactly as you called it.
I didn't want it to be.
I had a sickening feeling that this was going to happen. But what sucks is it so easily could have been avoided in both games. I mean, I feel like both games were a matter of... both games were just a matter of the team that lost making a shit ton of mistakes. And let's start with the Ravens because that was the first game. And man, I think we even said in the last podcast, like, the main way we could see the Ravens losing this game is just by Lamar Jackson pooping his pants. And I mean, it's not the sole reason why they lost, but that was probably his worst performance of the whole season. And like, for Ravens fans, that's got to be just devastating because they kind of went through this in his other MVP. Well, I mean, he's not for sure to win MVP, but likely in 2019 when they just got, kind of steamrolled by the Titans.
Should we pause? We might as well, because I can just edit this if we keep going.
Switch the camera real quick. Oh, we got it.
Is it
What
rolling?
happened? Should we maybe...
The battery died.
Okay.
This thing goes to battery.
Okay.
All right, we'll edit this and fix it.
There we go. We're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought Lamar really kind of, beyond a few flash plays, just didn't offer a whole lot and took way too many sacks in this game.
They didn't really run the ball at all. It was weird.
Yeah,
Like, they were the best run team in the league by a landslide, and they went away from what they were good at.
And it's weird because when they did run the ball, it seemed like it was working pretty well, I mean, at least to my eye. So
Yeah, from the moment that game started, the Chiefs just looked better, like all phases of the game. I keep seeing people complain about the NFL being rigged and the Chiefs getting all the calls. The Chiefs won. They're the better team.
I have seen dozens of games that you could say were more rigged than that one.
The Bengals game last year was way worse than what that was. That was just the Ravens just played bad and the Chiefs were better.
Yeah, I mean, the refs didn't make Zay Flowers fumble on the half-yard line. They didn't make, Lamar Jackson throw into triple coverage when they're driving to score the game. That was one of the worst throws I've ever seen.
That was vintage Lamar as a running back throw.
That looked like Brett Favre, like the bad Brett Favre, like playoff Brett Favre after the 90s.
Yeah, the AFC Championship game I thought went about as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a game more carried by like a quarterback tight end combo than this one, because the Mahomes to Kelsey connection was just unreal in this game. Like, I'm sick of the Chiefs. I'm sick of both of those guys, to be honest. Well, but I mean, even as a little bit of a hater, I couldn't just help but be amazed by some of the plays they made out there.
Yeah, I feel like in our defense, like, I don't hate the Chiefs that much. I just hate that we went from Brady Belichick for 20 years to now Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes for probably another 20 years. And it's just like, can we just have like normal people play this game for a little while and have some variety?
Some parity? Yeah. Especially in the AFC. If you look at the AFC Super Bowl participants since like 2002,
it's like 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's actually fucking crazy.
I think it's Brady, Mahomes, Manning, Flacco one time, and Burrow or something.
And Roethlisberger.
And Roethlisberger.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, you literally just named all of them, I'm pretty sure. I guess if you go all the way back to 2002, it was the Raiders, and I don't even, was it Rich Gannon? I
Yeah.
don't remember. But, like, after that.
Yeah, God, because 03, 04 was Brady. 05
Mhm.
was Roethlisberger. Manning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's ugly.
Which again goes to show how great Mahomes is, unfortunately, because now the AFC's loaded with talent at quarterback, and he's still beating everyone.
Yeah, I
So,
think this is one of the more impressive playoff runs I've ever seen because they had to win 3 games. They had to go on the road for 2 of them in games that they were not favored. Pretty wild. And then just flipping over to the NFC. This one hurt, man. I feel for the Lions fans. There's no team I feel like that deserves a Super Bowl berth more than them, given how terrible they've been. First 0-16 team ever. And to be up 24-7 at halftime, and just it's not even like there was a bad call or some sort of just like crazy thing that happened. It was just unbelievable fuck up after unbelievable fuck up for like 4 drives in a row, and all of a sudden this thing was tied in like 6 minutes. It was wild. So it starts off with that, just I guess if there was just bad luck, fucking 48-yard deep pass hits a defender's face mask and gets caught by Ayuk onto the 2-yard line. Like, there was never more of a Brock Purdy play that's existed than that one. Holy shit. What dumb luck.
Yeah. I mean, I can't deny though Brock Purdy, he could have just rolled over and died being down 24-7, but he didn't. He came back and showed composure and won that game. So as much as I don't believe he's the next Tom Brady, like, he is showing that he has some pretty crazy mental toughness.
He's got Tom Brady's luck for sure. Like, that cannot be denied at this point. But yeah, I mean, and that's what's so difficult about the Purdy discourse, because he's obviously good, but then it's like the biggest play of the game is such a fucking fluke. Like, every time with him, there's something you can legitimately point to is like, that's bullshit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But no, he had some great escapes under pressure and some good throws on the run. Definitely played a really, really good second half. And the Lions, man, nobody could catch the ball in the second half.
That, I think, was what killed them.
Reynolds.
I mean, Brock Purdy played a great game, but the Lions beat themselves. They
did.
They dropped. If Reynolds just catches that ball when it's 24-7 or 24-10.
Yeah, they probably, it might have even been 24-17 at that point. I don't remember. But either way, it probably turns into 31 or at least 27-17 at that point, and we have a totally different game there.
It was 24-10 because I remember had they kicked the field goal, they would have been up 3 scores late in the third quarter.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another thing you can kind of criticize them for is Dan Campbell's over-aggressiveness on 4th down. I didn't hate any of the decisions. It's just they look really bad in hindsight when you don't get either of them, and then the 49ers capitalize off of it. So, yeah, I mean, I just feel like it was a game of missed opportunities and mistakes, and it sucks because the teams I wanted at the outset of this playoff bracket, the least to be in the Super Bowl, both made it. And here we are for the second time in 4 years, Chiefs 49ers.
Yeah, that being said, who you got?
I got the Chiefs. I think they seem to have that destiny factor this season, and I think the 49ers.
I mean, everyone doubted them.
Anyways, I think the 49ers were clearly the best team in the NFC this year, but they haven't played Mahomes, and the way their defense is played, honestly, I mean, they gave up a lot to the Lions. They gave up a lot to the Packers. Mahomes is a different breed, and this Chiefs defense is really good this year. Spags has got them playing really well. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be like a 24-20 kind of game, not super high scoring, but yeah, that's what I got. What about you?
I also have the Chiefs, but I'm going to be rooting for the Niners just because I'm sick of the Chiefs.
I can't make myself do that. I hate them too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't really hate this Niners team as much as I've hated other Niners teams.
I hate them like maybe more.
More than the Kaepernick Niners?
They're like
Those
right
were
up
pretty
there.
insufferable.
Dude, this version of the Niners has beaten us like 5 or 6 times in a row. I'm
Yeah.
like seething whenever I see Boza and these fuckers.
Yeah, I guess I would be mad if they beat us if we were a better team, but I've always thought that they were better than us, so I have a different like mindset going into it, I suppose. But I just don't want to. I'm just so tired of seeing the same team from the AFC win every year, thanks to Tom Brady. But yeah, I can't stand Travis Kelce. Like, I like Taylor Swift more than him. But
I do too.
so I got the Chiefs winning. I'm gonna say 31-27.
Okay.
It's gonna be a low scoring first half, and then they're gonna come out firing in the second half.
It should be a great game. I mean, as much as I hate the uniforms that they're in,
Oh, it's gonna be. I hate. This
it's
is
an ugly combo. Way too much red.
way too much red, and then like gold.
And
Red
brown.
and gold is just gross. I've
Yeah,
always
bunch
thought
of
that.
Lannisters out there.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But yeah, Chiefs winning. Pat is going to get his 3rd Super Bowl, and then the following day we're going to hear how he's the GOAT already. And then we're going to have people arguing over the ring factor, and it's going to just be it's just going to be miserable until next season.
It's going to be miserable forever because it's just going to become the new LeBron Jordan debate but for football, and we're going to hear about it forever probably.
Yeah.
Life is great. But yeah, at least we got Macdonald. Things are looking up. Lots of off-season content to look forward to. I'm already kind of diving into this next draft class, and I think it's going to be a good one. So yeah, many more vids to come from JR Takes.
Yes. That's pretty much all I had for this one. Kind of a short episode. Not a whole lot going on with Seattle news. So on that note, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. See you next time.